Oh no, she didn't! Oh yes, she did!
Hey, it's your girl So. Hi guys, welcome back. How we been doing or whatever. Hi. Welcome back. This is exciting. As you can probably tell, there's two things that's changed about me. I am now an official NYT member. And oh yeah, my mom now knows about my piercing and my dad. So that's happened, and now I feel less scared to have this on my channel, because as you all very know, being an African household, that does imply certain things don't run. But because I'm a pioneer, an entrepreneur and a visionary, one would say, I did this and now it's out of the bag, and I'm really happy about that. Let's talk about NYT. Okay, so for those who have basically been thirsting for this sort of knowledge as to how I, Satonya Ayika, going to NYT, you are in the wrong place, but I'm going to give you what I got and hopefully you're happy with it. Okay, so let's just get started on my journey into NYT and how I got in, and you know what you can hopefully gain from it, which I hope is a lot, because I'm quite excited to see what I can gain from it. And that's a big ass fly. Is that mosquito? That's a big ass mosquito. So the way it works is that you basically audition at the beginning of the year, which is, I think, it's just like a long standing thing that happens every year. So you audition at the beginning of the year. Maybe me, because I have a lot of anxiety, I literally auditioned, I do believe, either 2 days before or on the day. I just can't remember which one was worse. But yes, I did audition on the, like, basically so close to the deadline, because I was just so nervous, and I hadn't really heard about NYT until literally, I kid you not, prior to this, like maybe a month ago, because I was watching like this like podcasts or something like that, like this video basically that had Chance Perdomo, I hope I'm saying his name right, but this like British actor who stars in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I just loved his accent. Like, I know he's British, but I just loved how British it was in the midst of American accents. So anyways, I just love this character on the show. I just happened by chance Okay, I just happened by chance to actually find a video of him talking about NYT and how it's actually just amazing. I was like, you know what? My guy is on a Netflix show. It's out of 4 seasons. Clearly, he knows what he's talking about. I did some research on it, and I found out information about the NYT course and how you can't be a member until you've done, like, you know, one of the summer programs. And I was like, cool. More money that I do not have. The whole like interview or audition process was like, you basically sent a video talking about yourself, like your likes, like, you know, what makes you you, and you basically talk about why you want to join NYT, and this all has to be basically like under 5 minutes or 5 minutes. And yeah, so I did that, and then I had to play I had to then do my audition. Like, so the piece that I did was 8 by Ella Ixon, and I did Astridge, the character Astridge, I mean. And yeah, looking back right now, when I was just looking back on it, I don't know how I got in, because my acting was very shit. I know, I feel like I am my worst critic, like every actor will know. Maybe one day I'll think I'm enough, maybe. But anyway, so I did that and sent it off. And now comes the waiting game. I love the waiting game, as you can probably fucking tell, because I'm such a patient person. After I sent that off, this was around March. You find out if you get a second recall around April time. When I tell you, I was so nervous. Like, I was like, oh my god, because I don't know, I was just so scared, because, like, you know, if I didn't get a second recall, that's literally me done. Like, my journey has ended before I even felt like I started. But then when I saw that, you know, the email came through, and like they said, like, you know, congratulations, I was like, me? Like, I've gone through the first stage, and now I have the opportunity to hopefully get through the second stage. The second stage one, yeah, is basically where it's like a live audition, basically, where we are now going to be on Zoom. You're going to go into a private room with the people who are, you know, going to audition you or whatever. So that part was going to be the most scary part, because at least before I can take as many takes as I wanted and send it off, but this time I had one chance to prove that I have what it takes. Yeah. So I chose the Tis She's a Whore by John Ford, and I was doing Hippolyta, and I've probably mentioned this same play, this Jacobean play, many times, but you know, it's a banging one, guys. It's actually a banging play. You guys should definitely read it. But anyway, so I chose that once again because that is my, you know, that's my little ace, that's my little queen, my little jack of trades, all that bullshit. Yeah, just like I said before in my previous videos, it's all about just making sure you just take direction and knowing the script well. Because when I was doing the audition thing, the guy actually asked me about, oh yeah, so what did you choose for your first audition piece? I told him, but I messed up because I obviously knew so many monologue pieces. I got confused, so I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I literally forgot that that's the wrong play. The guy was like, no, it's okay. I was like, I'm so sorry, I really got mixed up. But yeah, this is the actual information about what I meant. So the thing that I talked about that I really think secured my position, you know, was basically that the fact that they were doing a play called Othello. And as you know, with Shakespeare, people are always constantly reinventing it. But this time they were actually gender swapping the character, and it was set against the 90s rave scene. And for me, that was interesting. That's even why I talked about it in the first place. So yeah, I talked about that, and when I tell you, the guy's eyes actually lit up. I was like, did I just secure my place? But yeah, so like when I talked about that, like I really think it showed that I was serious about this, that I did do my research about it, and that I was really looking forward to being part of this like sort of family that's always constantly trying to reinvent itself and reinvent ways that they approach a piece of work, be it in contemporary like pieces or things like Shakespeare or Jacobean or Renaissance. I just try to show my passion, and I really think that that is what helped me get into NYT. There's one thing that I will always stand by. Maybe it's my anxiety speaking, maybe it's just me being just so OTT and researching everything to the bone, but just research it, find things out that when you see it and it slightly intrigues you or interests you, use that. Make sure that you use that piece of information and say it and show that, yo, I love this so much. This is what you're doing, and I want to be part of that. I want to do what you're doing. Like, that's why I'm talking about this. Like, you know, like just research the fuck out of everything you're basically trying to get into, because it shows to the other person that, wow, the person cares so much that they'll even go the extra mile to, you know, find those really niche parts of what makes what makes that company a company. After I did the audition, it was about it was actually 20 minutes, and then that was it. My shot was gone, and waiting again, part 2. So this one, the only reason why I think I was even more scared was because I knew that if I got in, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do, because I can't afford it. In my head I was like, okay, if I get in, I'm gonna apply for the bursary, but even then it's not obviously guaranteed that they'll even give me the bursary in the first place. So I was always like in this sort of headspace where I was like, I want to get it, but then I don't, because I'll save money then if I don't get in, because, you know, I don't want to go through everything and then at the bursary stage to be like, yeah, no. But yeah, so that was in April, and then the second time that I'll find out if I officially got in was in May, the 12th of May. When I tell you, that number was just ingrained in my head, because yeah, it's just crazy, because I feel around this time, so around the April period time, that was actually when I got, you know, confirmation that I got into ARA. So I was in a high basically, because I was like, okay, if things don't work out in the summer, I have a bloody fucking drama school to go to in September. So the 12th of May comes, and I'm literally by my, you know, email refreshing. This one, yeah, I had a big ass paragraph, like 2 paragraphs in the beginning. I was like, oh my god, why are they sending, like, they usually send this in if they say that, okay, yeah, unfortunately you're not involved anymore. And I was just like, I was getting so disheartened, and then I kept on reading it, and I was like, congratulations. I was like, me again? Fuck. And literally from then I was like, okay, bursary now, because I can't afford it. And the bursary application process was actually quite decent. It was nice and easy, just like them just asking you information on why you're poor, and I was like, nice. did that, and yeah, I got it, and they basically paid for me to do the course. And when I tell you, I've never been so happy in my entire life, because the entire summer I was just working so much, because obviously, as you guys know, for my GoFundMe, which you guys can still donate to, I'm obviously working so much just so I can, you know, afford my drama school in the first place. So the fact that I didn't, that extra worry, that extra stress of money was basically taken off my shoulders, I was like, thank you so much. As you guys probably saw from the video, which if you guys haven't watched, it's kind of like, you know, what are you doing? A bit rude. So like, you know, as you guys saw in that video about my NYT vlog and all of that, like, I was having so much fun, which I was. It was a very emotional and very like beautiful time. Like, I feel it was definitely like like when I did NYFA, National Youth Film Academy, like a couple of years ago. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the connections I made at NYFA. Did I think it was worth the money? No. But am I happy I met people I did? Yes. But with NYT though, the fact that I was organised, like everything just had a certain structure to it, which I loved and enjoyed, and just the connection that I made with all my castmates was just like a beautiful thing. And I feel definitely the fact that the pandemic has basically limited interactions with people, just being in that space with people that were there to act, that were there to be open, and just there to like basically like, you know, come into this world, into this new world together. It was just a very like, I can't make it was a transcendent thing basically. I feel like I definitely transcended and elevated a different level of professionalism, of networking, of just be around people, and just, you know, connecting so much more than I ever have with another person. And yeah, I really loved it, and I missed them so much. I feel like because we constantly saw each other 6 days a week from 10 till 5 or 10 till 6. No, I like 10 to 6. It just kind of felt like, whoa, you were basically my entire life, basically. The things that I got from it, the memories I got from NYT will last a lifetime. And I really just do hope that in the future I shall see them in future like sets, and, you know, we just get to collaborate once more. And I just thought it was fucking amazing, like fucking amazing. I feel like NYT truly is a place that it says that it is, and that is really rare to find, because sometimes people say, yeah, we're so inclusive, diverse, even if it's just a little snippet of what they were over the 3 weeks during summer. I definitely felt the warmth, the diversity. I definitely felt the thing that they said that they had, and that's why thank you, Chance Perdomo, for putting this to my attention. Definitely, if you have the chance to do it, please do NYT. Obviously, money is always going to be a tight situation, but they do have a bursary program there available. Even if you don't get it, it's definitely a worthy investment to make in your life if you're really serious about acting. It's one of the few places that I know of that actively tries to cater to people from lower income families. I feel as if I'm low-key praising it as if I'm a cult member, but honest to God, I have never felt so happy in my entire life that I did during those 3 weeks. I mean, you know, minus the fucking COVID test I had to do every fucking day, minus that, you know, it was still lit. But yes, that is just all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Please give this a shot. You can do this, even if you think you can't. You just never know. And if you fail, bitch, there's always next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, unless you're 25. Yeah, I'll chat to you guys later. I am starting school next week. I'm quite excited for it. I've already met some people already in my induction week, like this week, and yeah, they're looking okay, looking all right. I'm probably going to do like a video, like a termly like vlog situation, where I just, you know, check in on you guys and be like, so this is what's happening in term 1 and term 2 and term 3, term 4, term 5, and hopefully by the end of term 5 a bitch will have an agent. That is the goal. That is the fucking goal. But until then, I'll just see you guys next time. Hey, it's your girl So, signing out. Anyway, so my first piece was 8 by Ella Hickson, and I played Astrid in the... oh my god. My first piece was 8 by Ella. So the one thing that I don't really like that light that's just flashing on my shoulder. And, oh, because my back really hurts. 1 second. Big boobs problems. Oh, so funny.